Hello, welcome to the Courageous Podcast today. Obviously, we're doing something new. Today, I have a special guest, Wendy Anleu. She was on the Courageous Podcast back in 2020 when I first started. And so, Wendy was born in Chicago. She's a single mom of an amazing 14-year-old son. Wendy's dream was to become a foster parent, and today she is a certified foster parent with 7 kids. She believes her life's calling is to help broken children and parents on the journey through the foster system. She wants to be able to shine the love of God and give hope to those families that are hopeless. She says Jesus already came and suffered for us. We only need to believe in him wholeheartedly. A verse she lives by is Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do good, seek justice, help the oppressed, defend the cause of the orphans, fight for the rights of the widows. She believes only Jesus can get you through.
Amen.
I love that, Wendy. welcome to the Courageous Podcast today.
Thank you so much, Madeline, for having me back. I'm so excited to give you the updates of everything God's doing, not just in my life, but in every single of my child's lives. And it's just exciting. We're a bunch.
Awesome. Well, having 7 kids in the house, I can't even imagine what that's like. So I'm sure God is definitely in the midst trying to help you.
Every morning.
So that's incredible. And so, as I said, you were on the Courageous Podcast in September of 2020, and you shared a little bit of your journey and something traumatic that you went through. I don't want to give it away because I want you guys to go back and listen to it. It's really, really good. But I wanted to share just a little bit of a snippet so people can kind of hear. So at age 9, you experienced severe trauma. At 17, you survived a major car accident. At 20, you became a mom and left to raise your son on your own. At 25, your dad passed away and you were devastated by that. And then eventually there was a final blow that kind of pushed you over the edge, and you spiraled out of control. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Definitely. So after losing my son's father, and then losing my father, I completely, I lost it. I was heartbroken. I was looking for love in the wrong places, trying to fill the voids. And I put my trust in the wrong people. Sometimes you think family's out there to protect you, and it's not always the case. And if you listen to the podcast, you'll see that there's a reason God asked us not to be part of the world. It's the forbidden fruit that we continue to desire, but really it's not that good. It's not that good on the other side. So listen to the podcast and get the details on the journey I went through to get to where I am today and to continue to help others heal from brokenness.
That's awesome. Every chapter that we go through leads us to the next place. Amen. So I'm glad that you said that, because what you went through that one night, didn't define you, and it didn't stop you from going where you are today. And so
Amen.
Her episode is titled How One Night Changed My Life, where she shares the story of how she overcame a very dark season in her life. And when you and I recorded the episode, you told me that God was leading you to be a foster mom.
Yes.
Because you wanted to help those that were broken and that have been discarded and maybe had gone through some difficult things. And congratulations, that I'm super, super proud of you that you're literally doing that right now. And that you trusted God and you had faith to say, you know what, I don't know what this looks like, but I'm going to do it. And so you said that in order to walk in this calling, you had to leave everything behind. What does that mean when you say everything?
So I finally was in a place where I had it all. I had everything I wanted. I had my lakefront condo. I had the career I wanted, the position I wanted. I mean, me and Nate had it going on. And we had our dog. But, when God called me to do this, I couldn't foster all my kids in a 1 or 2 bedroom condo. I needed a bigger space, and God provided everything. He put the calling in my heart. And soon enough, I saw it was a Facebook ad about a foster agency that actually provides you a home and a car. And I was like, God, this is you. I jumped and did it and left everything behind. I mean, I left 15 years of a career, 15 years of a career and a comfortable life.
And a salary that
and
was
great
providing for you
salary,
guys.
great
Yeah,
salary.
definitely.
And, and I took the jump, completely having faith in God. And let me tell you, I would do it again
Mm,
over and over, just falling into his arms and being obedient to God and just doing what he called me to do has satisfied me more than any of my goals from my career.
mm, that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And so you had said that you shared a verse, and I wanted you to share that because it
Mm-hmm.
kind of leads into something else. And
Which
so it's
one?
Psalm 10:17.
Lord, you know the hopes of the hopeless. Surely you will hear their cries and comfort them. You will bring justice to the orphans and the oppressed, so mere people can no longer terrify them. That verse I related to so much. I was once helpless, and God heard me and he saved me. I was fatherless and God fathered me. I was unloved and God loved me. I want the world to know our good, loving Father. I want to boldly proclaim this. I want to become more like Jesus each day because this is what you're teaching the kids. This is what they're seeing. It's not just about telling them, it's about being an example. And God continues to grow me and teach me along with my kids. And, you know, Mother's Day recently passed, and Pastor preached about
Mm,
Timothy and his mom's faith and his grandmother's faith. And I put myself in that position, and I put my mom in that position
mm,
because of my mother's faith. What did I have great faith? And I believe there was a God because I saw God moving in her life and how
mm.
she depended on him. Now, today, all my kids see how much I depend on God and how much I go to God and how God does move and God does protect us. And I know that I'm passing over the torch because they're learning to depend on God in everything they do.
That's awesome. It's so important to plant those seeds early in your kids
Mhm.
because they're going to face their own challenges and their own brokenness. And so knowing that they can go back and say, Lord, I need you. I need your help. I need to rely on you. I need to trust you, just like my
Amen.
mom has taught me. Is the same thing you did. And so obviously you want to pass that on. And so your episode went live in September of 2020. How soon after did you start this journey of fostering?
I mean, almost right away. Almost right away, God put that ad. Literally, I was checking my Facebook and God put the ad there. I was like, I'm not even supposed to be on, but it was just I saw it, I did it, and it flowed. It flowed. Everything worked out for His purpose, and we got here pretty quickly. I started
Awesome.
fostering March of
21.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow,
2021. So it was
that
a
was
fast move.
fast.
One
Hey,
year.
God has a way of opening the doors, even especially when we're not ready and we don't know what to
Oof.
expect. He opens the doors,
Yes.
and so you move into this house that Child Services is providing for you.
Mhm.
You know, how many kids did you get initially, and then what types of traumas are
Mhm.
kids facing? When they come through like the system.
Yeah, so I can't touch specifically on the traumas that my kids have, but it's everything. It comes just from neglect. There's single moms that can't pay the bills, and then they can't take care of their kids. Not that they don't love them,
Right.
it's just they can't. So we need to protect them as well. But it's also abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, mental abuse. There's a lot of that. That mental and emotional
Mm-hmm.
abuse is what we struggle with daily because we always want to give the parents a chance for them to have a relationship, but it's that struggle
Right.
because they also don't know how to stop those toxic cycles.
Right.
They can only do what they've learned. So it's a journey because we're teaching our kids, but we're also teaching the parents. And it's a conflict because parents are adults. They don't like being told what to do. Kids don't like being told what to do, but
Right.
adults,
Yeah.
it's a different system.
Hmm.
So there's a lot in there, but God can heal it all.
That's awesome.
God has
Yeah.
healed it all.
Yeah,
So
and it's a process.
mhm.
It's a process. I can't imagine a parent losing their child to foster care, wanting to get them back, but they're
Mhm.
struggling and they can't. They just can't keep up with the
Yeah.
day to day, and because at the end of the day, they just want to be together. The kids want to be with their moms.
Yeah.
They don't care about what's
Mhm.
going on, and so I know that you're provided resources.
Mhm.
Are you given all the resources that you need, or are there things that are like lacking sometimes?
There's often things lacking. we try to stretch each dollar as much as we can. We always receive donations, and they've been so helpful. They've clothed many, many kids in the neighborhood. All the donations I've received, I don't just keep them for my house. I actually spread them out because we do have like 60 something kids.
Yeah.
That it's been a blessing. But and kids grow so fast, so they're running out of shoes in no time. They're running out of pants in no time. Holes in their pants, on their knees. The boys, and the girls grow. So the donations are very much welcomed. And yeah, there's a lot of times where it's a struggle to decide if we can buy, graduation pictures because they're so expensive. Get their haircuts, because they're so expensive. They do provide us a budget, but it's just never enough. It's 6 kids. And but we try to make it work. There's a lot of good people out there that have volunteered their time and their skills to benefit these kids. That's and awesome. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, I know there's always a lack of help, but there are people out there that do have a heart for, this type of mission. And I'm so glad. I wish more people would step up. And sometimes people don't even know where to go. Like they want to help, but they're like, well, where do I go? Who do I call? What do I do? And so I'm glad that you have people that have decided to step up and help you. And so as a regular mom, because you're a mom to Nate, a teen, a preteen, 14, right? Yes. I have a 22-year-old. So as moms, there are days where we just want to give up and like these kids, like shake them. Are there days where you have felt like you wanted to give up? What motivates you to kind of keep going?
It's been a struggle because sometimes, the shame of your past, the enemy will always try to torment you, always try to put you down, bring up your past, mostly when you can't reach a kid and the kid's just picking at everything bad about you. Why? Not because they're bad or evil. It's because they're hurt. They're hurt and all they want to do is hurt others. And maybe not even intentionally. It's just the anger and hurt that they feel. And sometimes you do get discouraged, mostly when you actually listen to the things. And it can be, hard. And then God reminds you of his promises and you put it at his feet and God really comes through and gives you the strength to make it another day, to get up and be joyful another day, because it's a choice. It's a choice. Either you're going to be defeated by the enemy or you're going to get up and be victorious, like believing the promises of God. Right. God gives you the strength. And sure enough, he's shown me we can get through anything in this house. Anything. We've been through a lot. Right. We've been through a lot already. Just in 1 year. We've been through a lot. And I've had moments where I've complained to God and I'm just like, man, help me. And he's like, but Mama, I have given you the strength. You're not, you got it. You did it. You did it. You got through it. What's going on? You're here. Right, exactly. And I'm just like, okay.
Oh my God. I can't imagine. It's got to be so hard. And so when you and I were talking, you said that, which a lot of times happens, right? We want to do something, we don't feel equipped, where, somebody comes and says, hey, we want you to do this. I'm calling you to do that. And we don't feel worthy. You said to me that, hey, you didn't feel worthy or equipped to foster these children. Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
I think it's because I'm just a normal person. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm pretty young, as well. So I don't know everything. I make mistakes. I have emotions. And sometimes I run with my feelings, mostly in the mornings. I'm the grouchiest person in the morning. Yeah. But even my kids have taught me, well, Miss Wendy, you have to choose joy. Miss Wendy, it says it to love and be kind and be gentle. And, it's convicted me. Yeah. It's convicted me. And God's taking me through a journey along with the kids. Right. And we're all learning together. And that is something beautiful because when you can get rid of your pride and tell the kids, hey, you know what? I am so sorry. You are right. You are right. I need to work on this. Right. There's one thing that I've been working on that I've announced it to the house. Like, look, this is not okay how I act in the morning. Right. I got to work on it. Yeah. And we worked on it together. And the other day, my 13-year-old mentioned, you're much nicer in the mornings. And I was like, see, that's what God does in you. Wow. And it just opens them up so much so they can feel accepted even though they're not perfect. Right. And I feel accepted. And those are the muscles that God is just enduring and growing in us that, again, sometimes you might feel down, but God lifts you up.
That's right. I love that. I think it's great when your kids see your struggle. I remember my son telling me a long time ago, Mom, you need to get out of your head. You know, you're stronger than this. Like, you can
Amen.
overcome this. And I was like, God, he's right. Like, what is
Amen.
wrong with me?
Amen.
But the fact that God used him to minister to me and to encourage me, that's powerful, because we need that. Those are the people that we're with every day. And so I love that the kids are doing that. And so I wanted to ask you, if there's somebody that's listening, that they've experienced some kind of trauma, that they've been through something difficult, and they don't know, they maybe they don't think they're equipped to do something great. Maybe they don't think that they're being called to do something. What would you say to encourage them today?
You know, I would definitely say make your experience a survival kit for somebody else. You know, once we get up from where, because, you know, we are down when things happen to us. We are defeated. We are hurt. We are broken. But when God heals us, we don't have to be perfect, because we'll never be perfect until we're with him again. We're a work in progress, but we can help so many, and do this together and grow together and heal together and continue to move forward. I always tell my kids, are we having a pity party? Because I don't play that. Like, I don't have those. Okay. Are you going to be defeated, or are you going to move forward and be victorious and get through this, you know? And it really, literally, they get up, they wipe their tears, and they're like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to choose joy. We're going to choose, you know, victory. We're not going to let the enemy keep us down, because that's what he's here to do. Kill, destroy, torment us. I mean, he wants us done. He wants us done. And he works really hard on that, you know, but we don't have to stay down. You never have to stay down. God lifts you up every single time. If you trust him, if you put it at his feet, if you spend time with God, he changes it all in your heart. He does.
I love that. Yeah, the enemy was coming after us so much. I'm going to digress a little bit. So much that we did this online like 3 times. One time we didn't even get to do it online because her screen wasn't working. Her camera broke. And then we play it back and there was no video. And I'm like, the devil. Yeah. Like, I've been trying to do video podcasts since like earlier this year, and I have not been able to do it. And so we did this a couple weeks ago, and I said, you know what? Let's just do it in person. Amen. Like, we're just going to have to do it in person and pray that God will be among us and be with us, right?
Yes.
And we said, maybe there's a reason that God wanted us to do it live today in her home, in her room. And so, hey, we're not defeated.
Amen.
This is time number 5. Okay?
Yes.
And we made it happen.
Yes.
And so, what are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned on this journey?
Man, there's so many. There's so many lessons you learn here. I think one of the greatest lessons I've learned is to put God first always. Put God first always. For one, you need him. You can't do this on your own. Just trust me, as smart as you can be, as experienced as you can be, as mature as you can be, as wise as you can be, you still need the power of the Holy Spirit, because you need discernment, you need love. Yes. We can't produce it on our own. Right. It's the overflow. God's love overflows, and that's what really keeps us united. So always put God first, and not just that. When you put God first, your kids see that. And they do it. You don't even have to tell them. They do it. They see it. They believe it. Right. And I think that's one of the most important lessons I learned.
Good. And that's for anybody. Anything that you're going through, anything that you're struggling with, if you put God first and you have faith, you know, he's going to make a way. He's going to open the door. It may not happen when we want it, right? But the other day I posted something that said, you know, God is trying to do something in you before he answers your prayer, whatever that is. And that is so true. And sometimes we're just not ready. Like, God knows that we're just not ready. And so, how, you know me, I'm always talking about walking in your calling, walking in your purpose. You know, how important is it, Wendy, to walk in your calling?
It is so important. It is so important. You don't want to be like Moses, but God, I can't talk. Look, listen, okay? God got mad at Moses, okay? Exactly. Jonah was in a whale. I don't want to do that. You know, there's blessing in obedience. There's true growth and blessing in obedience. I don't want to miss that. I don't want to upset my Father. You know, I don't want anything to come between our relationship. So it's very important to obey your calling. Also, God's gonna put you in a whale. Okay, so
Yes.
don't listen, listen, Linda,
That's so
listen.
true. That's
But
so true.
but it's also very fulfilling
Good.
in your heart.
Good.
It's so fulfilling in
Yeah.
your heart, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't walk in their calling because they're
Hmm.
fearful. We can't allow fear to stop us
No,
from doing the things that God is calling us to do. And not only doing, something that I'm really big on is not only let's not just do the things that are easy and that are comfortable.
correct.
Let's do the things that we are terrified of,
Hmm.
right? Let's do it in fear. Let's just
Yes.
trust that God is going to lead us through it.
Yes.
Not our power, but His power. I was recently asked to become part of a ministry and lead a ministry, and I was like, the first thing I asked them was, why me? Like,
Yeah.
there's all these other people that are, more equipped.
Hmm.
But there's a reason that God will call on certain people. There's a
Yes.
reason that God will call on you, even though you don't feel equipped.
Hmm.
And so I have to step in it in fear and trust that He's chosen me for a reason.
Amen.
And I believe that in my life, I've seen the hand of God move more when I've walked into those very scary places, like starting a podcast, like, getting involved in some things. And so I think that walking in your calling is so, so important. So do it afraid. Okay.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And that's where the growth is,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
How are you going to get to the next level if you can't
Absolutely.
take this one step,
That's
and once
right.
you get there, it's not as scary.
That's right.
It's not as scary. That's just the enemy trying to blind you, fill you with fear. No, just always trust God. And, I've been a little bit more of a daredevil, so I've taken the jump, but I get it. I did it in fear. I was terrified.
Absolutely.
I was terrified, but it was worth it. It was worth
Good.
it, not just in my life, but in the children's life,
That's
and the
right.
parents, and in the families.
Yeah.
It's like electricity. God's just
Yeah.
flowing,
Yeah.
flowing,
Yeah.
flowing. And it's by one simple act of obedience.
Right. Yes.
That's where it started.
Yes. And that's so true. You're seeing the fruit of, the seeds that God has planted in you, and you are planting in the kids, and how He's making a way and providing,
Yes.
and continuing to carry you and lift you up on the hard days, because I know you have really
Amen.
hard days. And so if there's somebody out there that wants to foster children, that has a desire to foster children, what would you say to them to encourage them?
I definitely say pray about it. Pray about it, because God's going to lead you exactly where you need to go and to who you need to go. That's very key. And He's also going to give you what you need to deposit in those children's life. One thing, it's not for the weak. A lot of these kids are hurt. Don't take it personal.
Right.
Don't take it personal, and don't give up on them. And don't give up on them. But definitely, a lot of our kids need mentors, just godly people giving godly advice. Just people that won't leave. That's a big one. Yeah. People that won't give up and leave. Because sometimes, our emotions are like, I don't want to do this today. Right. But really, we have to do it even if we don't want to, right? Just like prayer. Yeah. Sometimes we don't feel like prayer, but we still got to do it, because we're going to be blessed by it. And also when we walk in obedience of something that, just a desire in your heart, a lot of the desires in your heart are put in by God. Yeah. That's how God calls you. Absolutely. So definitely do it. Good. Do it. Pray about it and do it. Exciting. And plant that seed.
I know there's people out there that want to foster kids, and it's so difficult. And so I hope that encourages somebody today. If you're somebody that has thought about it, that wants to do it, just start praying that God will open the door, and that He'll lead you. Maybe He'll send you a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad and tell you this is where you need to go. And so before we go, I know you shared with me privately that you have a lot of needs, so I want to speak some of these things into existence.
Thank you.
What are the things that you feel that you would need help with, or that you want God to provide, so that you can continue on this foster journey?
So I definitely learned a lot being here this first year. I definitely was blessed in by a lot of the things that happened. But because I'm tied to the agency, and the home is tied to the agency, I have limits on who I can help. And sometimes your kids have families. And sometimes those families are children as well. And because the system is so broken, your hands are tied. And God has even put a bigger desire in my heart to actually look for a bigger place that we can all call home. You know, a place that my children can come back to, because yes, they go and they try to make their life, but if they fail, like we all have, we all have left our parents' house and sometimes failed and needed to come back and sleep on their couch.
That's
right?
right.
These kids don't have that. They don't have somebody to go back to. Most of them don't have a safe place to go back to.
Right.
And unfortunately, this house, being tied to the agency, can't provide that. But I one day want to have a home where all my kids can come back to and sleep on my couch if they need to. A safe place they can go back home to. And I'm praying that God provides the home, provides the financial stability, because once I leave the agency, I no longer have their financial support. God has to make way. And I believe it. And I believe it. And there's a lot more to do out there. And I just know that this is my life's calling. And that's exactly what I dream, giving a home for all these kids to come back to and just enjoy and visit Nana. Because
you know, it's gonna be you, but you're too young to be on Nana yet. So yeah, you're too young. Let's not call that yet. And so two things that I wanted to share. You know, one was, I've seen the fruit of your labor and what you've done already. I've had the privilege and the honor to speak to one of Wendy's daughters, and you know, she's amazing. She's had an incredible journey on her story already, and she's only 20, and has been through so many difficult things. And I remember when I was talking to her, she said, you know, when I met Miss Wendy, my life changed, and she was the first person that really loved me and really accepted me the way that I was. And I was like, wow, her whole life encountering all these different things, people, family. That was the first time coming to your home, your love, your kindness was the first time that she felt love and acceptance, you know, and that was huge for her, you know, and that allowed her to start changing her ways, to start bringing those walls down of protection, right? And she's a mom, you know, and so that's one of the things that she wants to work on. She's like, I want to be a better mom, you know, for my kids. I don't want my kids to be in the foster care system. I don't want them to suffer and struggle. And so it's already happening. You know what I mean? And so I'm super, super proud of you for that. And the other thing is your strength and your resilience. You know, not everybody could do something like this. Like you said, it's not for the weak. But what I love is that you call your kids, my kids, my daughter, my son, not many people would say that. And when you said that if somebody needs to sleep on your sofa, if one of the kids, you know, siblings needs to sleep on your sofa, you can't do it. And that's got to be so painful, because as a human being, you know, somebody has a need. You want to say, yeah, sleep on my sofa here. Let me help you. Let me help you. And the fact that you can't do that. And so the reason I'm saying that is because, you know, we're speaking it into existence. If there's somebody out there, I'm trusting God, that wants to help Wendy, that wants to bless her with a home. And, hey, we need to dream big. And we need to pray big. Make a way, God. You know her heart. You know the needs of your children. You know the needs of kids that are out there without a home, without parents. Make a way, Father God. Provide a way and a resource for you. I believe, as you do. You know, they say we just need faith as small as a mustard seed. So, hey, we're believing much bigger. But if we only have faith of a mustard seed, we believe that God is going to make a way. He's going to do something. So what does life look like today on a daily with your kids after you've gone through this kind of like 1 year experience?
Well, we're steady busy. We start as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. My day doesn't end until sometimes midnight or rolls over to the next day. So it's definitely very busy, but it's such a blessing because you have to be selfless. You have to be selfless. And it is a full-time job. It is a full-time job. But to see all my kids achieving what they would have never, you know, one of my children is in varsity football. You know, another one is in soccer. My son is finally able to do baseball and basketball. I couldn't do that as a single mom working a regular job, because I was out of the house at 7, back at 7. There was no time for me to take you to a baseball game or anything. It's just shower, eat, and bed. Now all my kids are succeeding in everything they want to do. And that's not something they would have had otherwise. They have a loving home. my girls all got baptized, and that was
Yeah.
God given, because I was baptized when I was 12. So God was just putting a desire for me to take a stand again, and just take an oath. And I didn't know why that was happening. And I got baptized as a much older woman. I got baptized. It was beautiful, but it touched one of my daughter's heart. And then she got baptized, and it touched two of my other daughters' hearts. And now they're baptized, and it has touched again their biological families. And it's God just working. God just working. And it's truly beautiful. It's truly beautiful. And I think the biggest thing is giving these kids a loving, joyful home. They see the difference, they feel the difference. And that's all I want to give them.
And it teaches them that they deserve more.
Exactly.
Right? Especially the young girls.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I deserve more. Yes. I need to be patient. I need to wait until, I find the right.
Don't settle.
Right. Don't settle. Find the right man. Find, get married, have kids. Like, I deserve that. Even though I went through this with my family and my parents maybe did the best that they could, I need to wait. I need to hold out. God is going to provide. God is going to make a way.
Yes.
And I'm believing that with you.
Amen.
Well, this was awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you for inviting me into your beautiful home where I got to experience, the kids' rooms and, just life here with you is incredible. I pray continued blessings over you, over Nate, over all your girls, all your kids, and every single child that comes in and out of here, that if for some reason they are reunited with their parents, that they will forever remember Miss Wendy and the love and the care that she provided, and that they'll continue to be successful and thrive because of your sacrifice and your obedience, which I think is so incredible. I love you.
I love you too.
And again, you and I are connected. Just even this year, we've connected so much. We met for the first time earlier this year in person because of COVID. We weren't able to meet.
Yes.
And so we went and had, some café con leche.
Oh, it was so delicious.
And some coco avena, which was so good. And we had a great conversation. And so we've been keeping in touch. And so I appreciate you as a friend. And again, if you need me, I'm here to support you.
Thank you so much. I love you so much. You have become a mentor to me. I mean, I look up to you so much. You bless me, you bless this home. And I can't wait for you to meet all my kids and have dinner with this wild bunch. It gets wild.
we gotta plan it. And also I think we need to plan an outing, maybe hopefully to my camping place at one point.
That'll be beautiful.
So they can just go crazy and have a good time.
We tried camping once. It was chaos. I was like, I need more adult help.
Well, let's start praying right now that God will prepare us for that day.
It's truly always an adventure with these kids. It's truly an adventure, and we all learn together, and we can laugh about things, and we can just remember good times.
Yes. Well, Wendy, how can people connect with you if they want to connect with you before we go?
So my email is the best connection to me. It's M as in Mary, S as in Sam, period, W, period, my last name, Anleu, A, N as in Nancy, LEU @gmail.com. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions if somebody wants to foster or just mentor or just be a part of somebody's life, or just, if you need somebody to listen to you, I can hear you and just love on you. So definitely reach out.
Awesome. Well, listen, if you want to connect with Wendy, you can reach out to me as well. I'll put you in touch with her. This has been an incredible conversation, an incredible journey to get here to finally record live and in person. Thank you so much for being with us today. Hey, if you know somebody that could be encouraged by the story, please share it. Follow Courageous on Instagram at courageous_podcast or on Facebook at Courageous 2020. Go back and listen to all of our stories on Podbean, on Apple Podcasts, on any platform that you like listening to, and just continue to share and become part of this courageous community. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you so much.